We are here today with Greg Schwarze, candidate for DuPage County Board District 6. Greg, would you tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, thank you. As you said, my name is Greg Schwarze. I'm a candidate for DuPage County Board in District 6. I've spent most of my adult life as a passionate public servant. I've been a Rotarian. I've been in the Lions Club. I've coached youth sports. I've taught Sunday school. I'm also serving in my 27th year as a local firefighter paramedic. Also, I serve as the public education coordinator at the fire department, which allows me to go in and speak to school children, talk to senior citizens, go to businesses, really anybody that'll listen to me. And I'm in my fourth term as a Carroll Stream Village trustee. It's in these roles that I've seen firsthand the challenges our residents face on a daily basis, from senior health and living issues, to the frontline effects of the opioid crisis, to the struggle of working class families trying to make ends meet. I'm proud of my record of governing in a nonpartisan way to maintain fiscal responsibility, advocate for environmental initiatives, social services, and of course public safety. I truly care about this community, about this county. I raised my family here, and I'm proud and excited about the opportunity to bring my passion to the next level.
Thank you, Greg. Do you think the number of county board members should be reduced?
The question of reducing the size of the DuPage County Board from 18 members down to 12, it was introduced by some of the current DuPage board members as a consideration to be put on the 2020 ballot as a referendum. I certainly can see the advantages and disadvantages to lowering the number of board members. The main advantage, obviously, of reducing the size of the board would be the subsequent cost savings brought about, and of course that is very important. 300,000+ certainly is a significant savings. There are some disadvantages for reducing the size of the board, I think, that are significant as well. Fewer people making decisions for the entire county isn't necessarily a good thing, and of course the workload involved may mean poor efficiency and maybe not as good results. I think the biggest issue here is that the current board voted not to include this item as a referendum, thus taking it out of the hands of the voters. I'm a big believer that as often as possible, let's hear what our voters have to say. I would have liked to see this item stay on the ballot.
How would you promote collegiality and bipartisanship on the board?
A good question. I believe my ability to work across the aisle is actually one of my biggest strengths. I'm serving in my 14th year as a Carroll Stream Village trustee, and I've worked exceptionally well with my colleagues who span the political partisan spectrum. We don't always agree, but we treat each other respectfully at all times. We state our case for any given topic, and we understand that we're all representing our residents and community the best we can. We know we are all there for the right reasons, and that is to make our community a better place to live for everyone. And when you're serving for the right reasons, there's no disrespect or condescension or political positioning. I'll bring this attitude of respect to the county board, and I look forward to serving with everyone.
With rising costs and COVID-related losses, what are your budget priorities?
I'm extremely happy that the county board has taken the pandemic seriously. They've done some really good things. As a firefighter paramedic, I've seen up close and personal the horrible effects COVID has had on our residents. Wearing masks and social distancing are not partisan issues, and I'm not happy with politicians who have made it so. With that being said, taking care of our healthcare and essential workers has to be a top priority. Making sure our first responders, our nurses, our doctors, CNAs, etc., and all those who are working on the front lines have the supplies they need so they don't get sick. But we need to continue monitoring our area hospitals, our fire departments, our police departments, and all healthcare and essential workers to be sure they have the safety equipment needed so they can go home safely to their families after each shift. We also need to protect our most vulnerable, our senior citizens, whom are dying at the highest rate due to the COVID. Helping identify the high-risk senior facilities and nursing homes to be sure that they are not only protecting their residents, but the staff as well. And we need to help our residents and businesses get back to work. Extending deadlines on property tax payments has definitely been helpful, and getting the grants to small businesses it's been great. I think continuing to stress the protective measures already in place are extremely important to moving past the pandemic and help get the economy back to a semblance of normal.
What more would you do to address addiction and the opioid epidemic?
Good question. As a firefighter paramedic, this is another area in which I have seen up close and personal. I've responded to dozens and dozens of opioid overdose emergencies during my 27 years in the fire service. Included are at least 6 deaths. I know the county has worked hard at addressing this issue. It's a very difficult issue, and it's become even more difficult during the pandemic as a couple of the components of treatment have been negatively affected, including counseling and the family and friend support, and this is all due to the isolation that's going on during this epidemic. So with that being said, one factor I think that's not discussed enough is the fact that the opioids actually physically alter your brain chemistry, so that once you're addicted, your brain, the changes to your brain never really go back to normal, which means the addiction and the brain changes really last your entire lifetime. These changes can happen after only one use of an opioid. So really this means early education is maybe way more important than we realize. We need to be proactive and stop usage before it ever begins. Typically, students receive their very first education on opioid use and drugs not until 5th grade during their DARE program. Let's see if we can get early education into the schools and the family homes much, much earlier.
What more can the county do to promote sustainable environmental practices?
You know, in my 13 years as a Carroll Stream Village trustee, I have worked with my colleagues to implement many environmental initiatives. We enacted a comprehensive recycling program for our residents that includes recycling over 9.5 million pounds of household waste a year. We recycle prescription drugs year-round. We recycle holiday lights and pumpkins and Christmas trees. We recycle the asphalt and concrete in our roads and our bike paths. We converted our street lights and public buildings to energy-efficient LED bulbs, which has actually gained us tens of thousands of dollars in ComEd rebates. We added miles and miles of bike paths. We've put up bus shelters to promote alternative transportation. We've planted acres of pollinator-friendly plants for our honeybees and monarch butterflies. We've planted thousands of trees. We've given away rain barrels to promote water conservation and reduce storm runoff. We put our commitment to the environment in writing by signing the Greenest Region Compact, and we were the first recipient of DuPage County's Earth Flag. I'm proud of my work in making Carroll Stream an eco-friendly community, and I want to bring my passion for the environment to the county level.
Would you like to make a closing statement?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to the League of Women Voters for putting this Q&A together. It's obviously so important for residents to know where I stand on issues. So, you know, I'm honored to be in this position to serve the wonderful residents of DuPage County. This is where I live. It's where I've raised my family and my daughters. You know, I love living here, and I'm really running to give back to the community that has done so much for me and my family. I will work hard to protect our seniors. I will continue to be fiscally responsible. I will fight for our middle class. I'll make decisions with our environment in mind. I will fight to end the opioid addiction crisis. I will be an empathetic and compassionate public servant, and I will work with everyone to make our community a better place to live and to raise your family. To learn more about me, you can go to gregschwarze.com or Greg Schwarze for DuPage County on Facebook. Thank you very much, and I hope to earn your vote.